So that's quite good. It seems to be running. It's not stalling when I put on the brake. Now if it was, you can richen the mixture a little bit more. If it'll run richer, you can lean it if it's having a hard time. Now I'm going to start it again, and then I'll richen the mixture and show you what I'm talking about. So here we go. This time I'm going to turn the car on so I've got control. Tiny bit of throttle. We've discovered this. It's a little more. Just quit, just as I was tightening the glow plug. Now I forgot to tighten the glow plug myself, and I think it worked its way a little bit loose. Now I've turned that another half a turn rich, so it's at 4 turns now. If it'll run that rich, it's great, it's good for it. Okay, now I've got that at 4.5 turns out. Now it was running at 3.5 fine, but from a new motor, if you can get it to run richer and it will stay running, richer is better. You're trying to lubricate it as much as you can, not overheat it. If it was mine, I'd leave it there, and then after the first tank of fuel's gone, then you would simply go and lean it about 1/4 of a turn. Run another tank of fuel, probably another 1/4 of a turn. Because I'm so rich, I can do 1/4 at a time. So we're just down to 4 now, and then you'd probably end up somewhere back around between 3 and 3.5. So the third tank of fuel, you'd be at 3 3/4, and then the next tank of fuel, you'd be back to 3.5. Some motors will go down to about 2.5, but that's going to be on the lean side. If you want the motor to last a long time, the only reason to lean it more really is to get a little more speed, but it's harder on the motor generally, and you get less cooling. So I like to run mine as rich as I can get it to run properly. Now I pinched the fuel line there to stop it that time, if you noticed, instead of covering the exhaust, and it took much longer. The engine wound up a little bit as it burned off the fuel that was left in the carburetor. Now the last run of the day, that's how I always stop mine, because then you've burnt all the fuel out of the motor. You're not leaving any fuel sitting in there. What happens over time is the methanol and the nitromethane will evaporate, and the oil won't, and it'll be in the carburetor and the motor gumming up, getting sticky, hard to start the next time, and corroding if it's got any moisture in it. So I always stop mine the last one by pinching the fuel line. There's an after run oil that you can get when you're done running it. You would take your glow plug out. I'll show you what a glow plug looks like. Just undo it, It's in the end of the wrench there. That's a glow plug. It's not starting. Basically, your battery could be flat, which isn't heating your glow plug, or your glow plug could be burnt out. So generally your first glow plug will last for the run-in process, and then when you're done with the run-in process, I'd replace it if it's working or not. They get weak. They don't just necessarily burn out, especially if it's rich. When it's rich and low RPMs from new, it's harder on your glow plug. Once you've got it run in and you've got it leaner is less fuel. They burn cleaner and hotter, and the glow plug doesn't work as hard. It lasts longer. Okay, so but you would take out your glow plug and with your after run oil, a couple of drops, and then cycle the motor a couple times without the glow heater on it, just to get a thin layer of oil on the inside of the motor to help stop with any gumming or sticking or corrosion. And if you can also pull the air filter off and put a drop or two in the carburetor, and then cycle the carburetor by hand as well, just to coat the metal bits with oil. And when you're done running it, you should clean your air filter and re-oil it. I said for this run-in process and clean, it doesn't really matter, but it's a good habit to always oil and clean your air filter. Don't forget to turn your radio off and the transmitter off, and that's pretty much it. That's how to run a nitro-powered engine from new.